It's been a while, hasn't it, since I've done one of these, a Celtic transfer talk. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to attempt to do this. It's been weeks upon weeks since I've done a proper sit down. Let's talk about the ins and outs of the transfer window for Celtic. We're coming into the last, well, there's about 15 days left in the transfer window. Obviously it wraps up at the end of the month, heading into September. The last one, I went back and checked, that I'd done one of these, not just announcing that Encham had signed or talking about maybe Dembele leaving solely, a proper Celtic transfer talk video. The last time I'd done one was July the 7th, which is quite a long time ago, over a month ago. It has been an awfully, very, very quiet transfer window for Celtic. There is no doubt about that. There's a couple of things we're going to talk about today, one in, one out. But overall, before we get into the in and out, that sounds weird. Before we get into that, I just want to talk about the transfer window on the whole. Personally, me personally, I've not been too bothered with the transfer window. I've not been too bothered with the quietness, apart from one situation. We'll get onto that in a second. But what I want to know for you guys, are you happy with the transfer window this season? A lot of people complaining about the board not dipping their hands into their pockets to spend some money. We're still waiting on probably one kind of marquee signing, cough cough, Patrick Roberts. We don't know what's happening. We don't really get an update. What's annoying me is this whole Patrick Roberts situation, which we'll probably talk about at some point on the channel, whether by the end of the thingy or no, the transfer window, I don't know if he signs or no. What annoys me is I wish that Brendan Rodgers or anybody could just come out and say it's definitely no happening if it's not going to happen, because right now we're all holding our breaths and getting our hopes up for no reason about it. So I wish somebody would just step up from the board or for the coaching team and say, look, we're not getting Patrick Roberts if we're not going to get him. Because right now I think we're really relying on false hope here. And at least tell us if we're still in there or not. That's what I'd like to know. It's like they're keeping it for a surprise. And I don't like surprises on this kind of situation because we need them. And that's the one thing that's annoyed me. The one thing about the transfer window is we need a marquee winger for the Champions League. We need that big winger who's going to help us get through the group stage, because James Forrest isn't the guy to do it, and Johnny Hayes isn't going to be allowed the time on the park to develop into the player to do it. He's still going to play second fiddle, I think, to the likes of Forrest, Sinclair. He's not going to be able to develop into that sort of player, I don't think. So we need someone, and we've been linked with every Tom, Dick and Harry over the past 2 months, and nothing's happened at all. But anyway, that's the only thing that's annoying me. Personally, I don't think we've had that bad a transfer window. We brought in Encham, which was a great signing, I think. We've brought in Benyu, we've brought in Hayes. So decent signings to start us off. I just feel like we need that one big player. There's a few other things that could also touch up on as well, but I'm going to save that for my podcast to talk about. The centre-back situation. Do we need one striker situation? Do we need one? We'll come to that. And probably my next podcast, the Celtic the Thunder podcast, which should be out sometime this week. Still trying to decide Monday or Thursday, but you guys can wait and see for that. Anyway, the in and the out the in and the out we're going to talk about. We're going to start with the out. It's the second time we've spoke about this on the Celtic Transfer Talk video. It's the second time we've brought up this same player. Stuart Armstrong, as you can see from the thumbnail. Is he going to stay at Celtic? That's what's happening. In the papers this morning, and I've seen a couple of pages online say it as well, but in the papers I've seen it as well, Brendan Rodgers has came out and said Stuart Armstrong genuinely wants to be at Celtic. If he wants to be at Celtic, why is he not getting his fucking fingers at his arse and sign the contract? How much money is he wanting here? I want to know what is holding this up. Is he genuinely asking for an unrealistic amount of money? At that point, I feel like we should probably just sell him. I'm a big fan of Stuart Armstrong. I always have been. I like Stuart Armstrong. He's a player who I've always wanted to break into the team, and when he did break into the team, he done a pretty good job in the central midfielder spot. He was arguably one of our best players, arguably the best player we had last season, towards the second half anyway. A fantastic second half to the season last year, and it seems like it's got to the point where we can't really tell because Armstrong or even the club haven't commented on it a lot, but it feels like to me he's just starting to think he's a bit bigger than the club itself, and I feel like he just wants to move down south. But Brendan Rodgers has came out and reassured the fans that Stuart Armstrong wants to be at Celtic. But if that was the situation, I don't understand what's taking so long for this contract demise. If he's not got it signed by next week, list him for transfer. And I've said it before on the channel, and I'll say it again. There is no point in holding out for a year, hoping and crossing our fingers that he'll sign a contract just for us to lose him on a free transfer, when we could pick up money between the range of £3 to £5 million, which would be a massive help to the club, where we could invest in a fucking winger that we need, where we can invest in a centre-back, we can invest in a striker, whatever. It would be a very, very smart move to get rid of him if he's not signing this contract. I don't understand what's taking so long. The wages that he's asking for must be some ridiculous fee. And if it is, at the same time, just get rid of him. You've got to be realistic. We've got enough centre mids to do the job. We've got Encham, we've got Brown, we've got McGregor, we've got Baton, we've got many centre mids there. We've got players who probably can be brought up and find a place into the team. We've got Liam Henderson, who doesn't get a look in. At this point, if Armstrong signs at happy days, because I feel like when it comes to everything taking into... When playing at his best and you bring everything into consideration, he is the best central midfielder we've got at the club. But it's at the point where I don't see the point in risking losing him in a free transfer, because what we need to rely on is for him to sign a contract by January if we don't sell him in this transfer window. And he might just say, fuck it, I'll just wait and see who comes in for me in January. I'll get him moved into Huddersfield. I'll get him moved into fucking Brighton. I don't see the appeal in that, but I can just imagine it happening. I hope it doesn't happen. I hope he gets the contract signed. We're still waiting. Hopefully, by the time this is even out, he might sign a contract. Who knows? Considering apparently he genuinely wants to beat the club. I hope that is the attitude he's taking. I don't want to presume. What I'm saying about him, you know, think he's bigger than the club is just, that's all what could be happening. Nothing is solidified here. We don't know what's holding up these talks. I just hope he's being reasonable about the whole thing, and I hope he gets the contract signed. I'm not going to presume anything, because I genuinely like the player and I want him to stay at the club. That is the one out to talk about. Will he be going? What's your opinion? Do you think Stuart Armstrong should stay, or do you think we should sell him? What do you think is going to happen? Anyway, moving on to the one in, and it's just one rumour what was piping up last night on Twitter a wee bit, and it's something I would very much like to see. This whole situation that I said we're going to touch on probably in my next podcast, the whole third striker situation. Do we need a third striker? Well, I was seeing something last night. Apparently Celtic wanting a 6-month loan deal for Liverpool striker Danny Ings. Massive. I think that would be great. Fantastic. The only thing is, I think he's the kind of player who could come in and he could potentially be better than Griffiths and Dembele, because he's a Premier League experienced striker. He scored bags of goals at his time in Burnley. He went to Liverpool. He's been very unlucky with injuries. He's been plagued by injuries. But when he gets a glimpse into the Liverpool team, he's an exciting player to watch. I really like him. He's a fast guy. Gets in behind. He'd be a decent striker, I think. And to come in for 6 months to help us through this Champions League group stage phase, and to get us help us qualify for Europe, maybe rely on him in case Dembele or Griffiths isn't fit, because Griffiths has been getting these little snagging kind of injuries, and Dembele's obviously out till September time. It would be very helpful just to have that extra depth, even for 6 months. But I feel like it'd be the same situation as Roberts. If he was to come in, score goals, and we're dying to keep him on, I could see us extending it to a year loan. We definitely don't think we would sign him. I think Liverpool would hold on to him, but I think it would be a very good signing. As I say though, as always, take things with a pinch of salt. This, I don't see happening at all. I'm just saying, I'd happily see it. I'd happily take it. And I've always kind of liked Danny Ings, and I'd love to see him at Celtic. I'd happily take him on a 6-month deal, and I can see the sense behind a 6-month loan deal for Danny Ings. But take it with a pinch of salt, because it's more than likely not going to happen. I've just seen it piping up around the internet here and there, and that's what I do. I bring rumours just in case it happens. But if I was to rate this rumour at a 10, it'd probably be a big fat 1, because I don't see it happening. I'd love to see it happen. Fingers crossed it would happen, but I would take it with a pinch of salt. But Danny Ings has been linked with the club on a 6-month loan deal, and as I said, that would add that extra depth that we need, and I would like to see him come in. But whether or not he does, it is a completely different story. Anyway, that does it about it for this Celtic transfer talk. Mainly just to kind of generalise the transfer window, my thoughts on it, my whole thoughts on the Armstrong situation, and then that wee small rumour at the end. There's not been a lot to talk about. I just feel like it's been a long time since I've done one of these Celtic transfer talks, and I felt like I wanted to bring one out just because it's been so long. And now there's a couple of wee stories that I could bring. But aye, well, hope you have enjoyed. If you have, make sure to hit like and subscribe. From me, Ryan118. I'll see you all next time.